Hello everyone and welcome to another edition of Inside Guns with your host, me, the Yankee Marshal. I'm sure most of you have heard by now that the Senate has agreed to bipartisan gun control. Both sides are coming together and writing some new gun control, something we have absolutely no need of in this country. If we do need legislation, it needs to be to deal with other issues that are the root causes of gun violence or violence in general in this country. But instead, they've decided that they're going to pass some gun control. Now, luckily, it does have other things in it. In fact, mostly it's other things. And I know a lot of people are going to say, I looked at what's in it, I'm not worried. And I can understand why you say that. And I'm not going to sit here and be an alarmist and say this is the worst thing that could have possibly happened. But there are some dangerous things in this bill. Things that give the government a little too much power. And also, let's keep in mind, this bill may not be great and might not be exactly what most anti-gunners want, but all of them today are making the round saying, we knew from the beginning this was going to be incremental. This isn't our end goal. This was just our first step. So keep that in mind. This is a means to an end. This isn't their goal. And they intend to use this and maybe those extra powers given to the government in this bill to put forward future gun control that's a little more severe. Now, until that happens, let's deal with this bill. Let's actually go over it here real quick and talk about what's in it and what parts of it I say are dangerous still. I already did a video like this when they had a proposed framework, but now there's an actual bill. We know what's in it, so let's deal with it. The first thing is $750 million for crisis intervention programs. That's really not a lot of money for that. Now, it is better now than it was because that was a bribe to states to enact red flag laws, and you only got the money if you enacted red flag laws. Now it's just for crisis intervention. You can use it for red flag if you have those laws already in place, or you could just use it for a slew of other things that are dedicated to improving the general mental health of your state. So that ended up being not as bad as it could be. In fact, I don't like red flag laws, and I don't like the fact that this can be used for red flag laws because red flag laws are not mental health bills. They are not to promote mental health. They are detrimental to people's mental health. So I don't think they should be included in mental health care because, like I said, they are more dangerous than they are productive. They do nothing for the person who's in a bad place at all. They basically just allow people around them that are afraid of them to use the government to disarm them and treat them like second-class citizens. It does not promote mental health at all. So I don't think red flag laws should be included, much less be the exclusive thing you could use the money on. So I would have rather seen them say, can't be used on red flag laws, but at least it can be used on other stuff now. It's not a bribe to enact red flag laws. The next thing is they're going to close the boyfriend loophole. I already went into that. All that is making it easier for people who want to file false claims against someone to ruin their life and X whatever. Now, it used to be you had to have a substantial relationship, have kids with someone, blah, 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 before they could go to the state and have your life ruined, have your rights stripped from you. Now, if you go on a couple dates, they can do it. I hate this one. That's very dangerous. I don't like this. You know, I'm a firm believer of do things about domestic violence. Listen to women when they talk. Believe them when they have evidence. But this takes evidence and due process out of the system and just says, hey, if they say it, we get to take your guns away. So this is a very dangerous part. The next one is they want to make more people get FFL license if they make most of their income by selling guns. Now, I don't know who sells guns and reports that as their income, especially their primary income to the government that doesn't have an FFL license. Maybe it's curio and relic dealers, CNR dealers. I don't know. Maybe that's who they're going after. But I don't really understand this part all that much because who makes the primary amount of their reported income from selling guns that doesn't already have an FFL? So I don't know who this is targeting, which makes me worry about it because I don't know who it's targeting. And whenever they write things that there's no clear target, it sometimes is used to go after everybody. So I don't like that. And if they're going after curio and relics, well, you know, all those people getting put down with muzzle loaders, I guess something needs to be done about that. Another one is they're going to provide states encouragement. Now, it doesn't say that they're going to make them have to in any way, but encourage them to open up juvenile records of people who are 18 who are trying to buy a gun. However you feel on this, that's up to you. I mean, I don't have a strong feeling one way or the other about this. I do think it's silly sometimes that, you can be a murderous monster up till you're 17 and then suddenly when you're 18, clear record. I don't understand. But, I understand the mental, children doing things shouldn't ruin their entire life thing. But sometimes there's exceptions. I don't believe in background checks at all. You may. If you do, you might feel differently about this than I do. But, and it does say they're going to provide them money to enact a process to actually look at those records better when 18 to 20-year-olds actually buy firearms. Because now, like I said, those juvenile records aren't really in the system. So they're going to provide them money to try to get them in the system. That's just expanding something I don't like. And it did give them like 3 days and then an additional 7 days. At least there is a time limit on it. They have 3 days to research them. And then if they don't find anything, they get their gun. If they do find something, they have another 7 days to research. And then if they don't find anything at the end of that 7 days that would exclude them, they get to buy the gun. So at least it does limit the government to 10 days. That's at least a small thing that's good. Another thing is gun trafficking and straw purchases. They're going to crack down on that and make it easier to go after offenders. How do they make it easier to go after offenders committing a crime when it was already a crime? What are they talking about? Are they talking about taking away due process? Because it seems like there's a lot of stuff in here that's taking away due process. The boyfriend thing, the red flag laws, and possibly this. Are they going to make it to where, now the onus of innocence of defense, the onus of proof is on the offender now instead of on the state? Like if they think you've done a straw purchase or you've sold a gun illegally, it's up to you to prove you didn't, not up to them to prove you did. That's the only thing I could figure would make it easier on them. So this is kind of worrying too. Like I said, don't understand it. Don't know how they're going to make something more illegal. And in fact, it doesn't say we're making it more illegal. It says we're making it easier for law enforcement to do something about it. To me, that always screams, we're taking away your rights and giving more power to the police. That's never a good thing. So that's very worrying. Next, they're going to donate some money to every state for mental health care in schools, general population mental health care, and fortifying schools, making them a harder target. I think you could make them a much less soft target if you took away the stupid no guns thing and allowed support personnel, etc., who've been trained and who have volunteered to carry firearms on the property. But that would do a better job. But I do believe also we need to start doing things like making sure there's no easy ingress on first floor levels, that there's multiple stages of security to get into a school. How hard is it to lock a classroom door? Things like that. Apparently it kept out the Uvalde Police Department completely because someone supposedly locked the door and apparently didn't really do that. So locks work, security works, kept cops out. Of course, I guess most gunmen are less cowardly than the cops, it appears. That's scary. But those are the things that are in it. Like, I fully approve of more security for schools, better mental health care. That part of the bill, got no problem with. The rest of it seems to be a lot about taking away due process. That I do have a problem with. So I'm not in support of this bill, but apparently it has 64 votes in the Senate right now. Now, I'm not saying it's definitely going to pass because you never know. 5 senators could change their mind between now and when it's finally voted on. But I think they're going to move it for a vote very quick, so there's not a lot of time for people to change their mind. Once it's signed in the Senate, passed in the Senate, I think it's going to go to the House to be passed. And the only hope that it would fall apart there is if the people in the House, like the AOCs and stuff, say, this doesn't have everything I want, so I'm amending it, or I'm not voting for it. That would be what would kill it in the House. So for once, let's hope that AOC is as big a pain in the ass as she usually is, and some other people, because I would just rather not see this passed and then maybe pass some actual good mental health care related bills. But looks like right now, going to pass, and Biden will sign it. So not as bad as it could be, that's for sure. Not as bad as the left wants or the anti-gun people want, but they've said already they know this is just a first step. So they're fine with it. And we need to remember that that's what this is. It's a first step, and treat it as such, and remember This is not all they're going to try to take. Don't be like, well, we'll give them this and they'll shut up. No. Do not rest on your laurels right now. Now is the time to stand up to stuff like this and realize what's going on. Because like I said, it is a first step. And it seems to me most of this bill, along with some good stuff that a lot of people would get behind, like mental health care and things that sound good, you know, what's really in there is just a whole bunch of taking away due process from citizens and making it easier for government and law enforcement to do what they want. All right, everybody, that is it for me today. I hope you enjoyed the show. I do appreciate you coming, and I hope you come back again tomorrow. Until then, remember, everyone out there, always carry and stay safe until I see you again.